Morning. Elle Ingalls here at pressure-free.com. I'm so happy that you've tuned in. The title of this, I think I titled it Results. So, I can never promise what results people will get from working with my program. Not like some other coaches that can make some promises. I don't know what will actually happen, and I'm often surprised. So I'm going to share my screen and read a testimonial. See if I can find it here. Um, let's see. And read a testimonial that I received last week that just was so special to me. So let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. So Mark is one of my clients. Mark worked with me in my adult program, and he kind of stretched it out as we worked together. And this is what he wrote. He said, Elle's pressure-free living program has been truly life-changing for me, both personally and professionally. Before the program, I wore stress like a badge of honor. Then I was fortunate to be introduced to Elle by my mentor, and even that brief interaction left a lasting impression. I made the investment, and I'm glad I did. Oh, excuse me, I'm incredibly glad I did. Professionally, I am now more productive, focused, and fulfilled than I've been in years. Even better, that transformation is carried over into my marriage in the best possible way. Thank you, Elle, for helping me realize that stress is a decision and for showing me a better way to live. I was so blown away by that. Just thinking back over the work we did together, just thinking about um, in the beginning, what did he want? Like what results did he want? And then what results did he get? Sometimes when I meet with people, and they share with me what they'd like to see, or I ask questions about vision. Like, what's your vision for yourself, in the future? What would you like to see happen? We can pick a time frame, like 6 months from now. You can do that yourself right now. Just think to yourself, okay, 6 months from now, what would you like to be different? Or pick your time frame. 1 year from now, 6 months is kind of a good one. 90 days from now. My adult program is a 3-month program, though we can stretch it and we can customize it because everybody's different in what's happening here with the stress response. So I like 6 months, thinking about, okay, 6 months from now, if I could land that promotion at work, or Mark was in sales, he is in sales. He didn't ever change his job. Sometimes my clients change jobs when they're working with me. They just want something different. They want to move in a different direction. They dust off some dreams, which has been fun to see. People start doing things that they always dreamed of doing, but didn't have the courage to do. So what results are you aiming for? What are your targets? And that's the first step of pressure free. But sometimes it's hard to define. And so I ask questions to try and help them assess like what could be possible, what might be possible. And sometimes people will say, it's really emotional. I want to feel happier, or I want to not fly off the handle all the time. I want to feel more composed, have composure in situations. People think I'm hysterical, that there's all kinds of things that come up when I ask these questions. And so if it's a negative thing, like something we don't want, you can ask yourself, okay, so I don't want this, so then what do I want? It could be health oriented if you have something chronic going on. I didn't even think when I started all this to put down that I could get rid of my eczema. That just wasn't even something that crossed my mind. I really didn't even think it was possible, to be honest. So sometimes I'll open up questions to say, well, if anything could be possible, what about? And then that opens it up. Sometimes it's where people live. They're not really happy with where they're living, or the car they're driving. Like it's a material thing. So what are those dreams? What are those things that you really want to have change or improve in your life? And how can you state them exactly the way you want it, and better, right? Because we don't want to put limits on it. I remember working with a coach, and she brought in a speaker to one of her events who reminded me of this. And he was quite religious, and he was saying, remember, God doesn't even, you don't even know the plans that God has for you, right? That was his theme. And I was just thinking about, okay, that resonated because I also had a mentor who said, just stay open. We don't even know. So, like, just stay open to see what might start to happen for you. Um, I don't think pressure-free living would exist if I hadn't stayed open after that conversation with that mentor, because I was working on a financial program for small business, for nonprofits. I'd been a financial consultant to nonprofits for a few years and spoken at a national, actually trained like 2 days of training at a national um, convention every year or national, what was it really? It was like a boot camp for executives of nonprofit arts. And so I had a lot of material, a lot of things that I taught that's just so helpful to people in that field. When I was starting a business, that's what I was creating. And this person I asked to be my mentor, I'm actually going to see them today, said, you know, this is nice, but I've looked at your bio online and I think there's just so much more you could do. And I'm sure my face kind of fell. Like, I'd been working on this hard for 3 months and he's telling me, to shelve it. and, and actually said, you can keep working on it, but just stay open. Beautiful, beautiful advice. Because 2 nights later, my sons asked me to coach their baseball team in my mental toughness tips. That's how Pressure Free got started. It was completely organic. I didn't wake up and say, oh, I'm going to be a performance coach now. I had a whole other career in life. But that is how it happened. So that idea of staying open. And that's the case with any visions we open up for ourselves. They can happen sooner than we think they can. I had one, and you'll see his testimonial online. In 4 days, he was in sales as well. In 4 days, he had a breakthrough in 4 days. And he said it felt like a detox, but he actually lost inflammation in his face. So again, like, how would I have ever guessed that he would lose inflammation in his body? I mean, yes, that is that the stress hormones play a role in inflammation. All the things that Mark said, all the things that my clients, experience benefit from, it's science. It's not woo-woo, like it's actual science because we're talking about the biological effects of the stress response, biological and psychological effects of hormones. So it's really kind of interesting to see what happens. But I'm really blessed that Mark was willing to share how things changed for him, and it's interesting. Actually, I'm going to pull up one more if we have time because this is on LinkedIn, by the way, if you want to go to LinkedIn and you can see these testimonials. But I want to share Jay's because Jay's in Chicago, and I was headed to a speaking event in Milwaukee, and I was going to be going right by Jay's neighborhood, and I thought, I wonder if he could meet. Jay and I met in a fabulous group called the Outlier Project that I belong to. I've been a member for a few years now, and it's great because we can really reach out and talk to anybody. And Jay and I had a great Zoom call. And so we went ahead and had like a 3-hour coffee. And this is what he wrote. He wrote, Elle is so kind and wise. Every time I speak with her, I learn so much. I'm so grateful that we connected and for all that she's taught me about identifying stressors. I wasn't aware of stress cycles before chatting with Elle. She helped me become aware of my stressors and provided me with a number of practical and simple ways to address and reduce my stress. Thank you, Elle. I appreciate you so much. The work you're doing is truly life-changing. Jay's not even a client. Like these were just conversations that we had. And, and this is what he wrote. And it just, there's so much here. Like he and I just scratched the surface and he was already experiencing some benefits. And so yeah, and what really flips the switches, if you will, is when we dig in together. We dig in and we figure out some of those stressors that are hidden because there's these things, these habits of reaction that we've had, in some cases before we were even born, habits of reaction that are still playing a role in our lives and releasing too much of these stress hormones. And so the work, like I think of my work with Mark and how we worked together and how every time he came on the screen, he looked different. That was the case with my client last night. Um, I hadn't seen her in a while, and she booked a one-off and refresher session, and she looked so different. Like it's some people wouldn't even see it because they're seeing her all the time, but because I hadn't seen her in a while, I could see those differences. So on that note, I wish you a great pressure-free day, and I'm here for you. If you want to have a deeper conversation, just go to elleingles.com and book a call, and we can assess if this might be right for you. Have a great day. Bye.